Welcome to Will and Mark's Healthy Sports Obsession. I'm Will Hubner here with Mark Mashashik. We are two doctors of physical therapy, and we are here to answer your PT questions as well as give our take on current sporting events from a health perspective. As always, send your questions to willandmarkshso@gmail.com, and we will answer them on the show. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. I'm Will Hubner here with Mark Mashashik. Today we've got a good episode. We're going to be talking about UCL injuries in football players. We're going to be
Which is unusual.
Very unusual.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing some ice cream comparisons to some football players, and we're going to do some general takeaways from the weekend. But first, let's start off by talking about Glory Days. We'll be at Glory Days in Alexandria again this upcoming Sunday. We'll be there from 11:30 to about 4.
And we've got prizes. You can win $25 gift certificates. We've still got some other things in the work. It'll be fun. You can only win here. There's only winning to be had of this. So we'd love to see you out there. Come on out, watch some football, talk some physical therapy with us if you want. We're here to help.
Yeah, sounds good. So we got a comment from a listener, and he just wanted to basically talk smack to me. I'll just read it verbatim.
This is a player from the league. Do you know what team he is?
This is a player from the league. It's Hubert from Fairfax. Not sure his team name right now. But he says, by the way, Will, you absolutely got hosed. Hosed is capitalized on that Mark Andrews versus Hayden Hurst bet. I would have given you odds. I got to be honest. I got it wrong. It's still only 2 weeks into the season.
Oh, yeah, it could still turn.
But Mark Andrews is the number one tight end right now in fantasy football, and it does not look like there's any chance of him stopping.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to stop either. The only thing that could stop him, I think, is injury. He had a breakout year as a rookie last year. He looks like a Pro Bowl type tight end.
Yeah, I think.
Don't sell Hayden Hurst short on being a tight end, though. We know Hurst is a blocker, and Andrews doesn't do a lot of that. But from our fantasy watchers and us watching fantasy, he's sort of the more fun guy to watch.
Yeah, Hayden Hurst caught a touchdown last week.
Yeah.
He's definitely not a bad player.
A good player.
But yeah, Mark Andrews taking the cake. One bet I'm not upset I'm losing.
I couldn't argue with you more. I'm sure you're perfectly happy to be losing that one. But we've got some major injuries in football this weekend that are bummers, and we sort of talk the football implications of those and what do these injuries mean. So we've got Ben Roethlisberger with a UCL injury. This is the ulnar collateral ligament in the medial elbow, usually an injury that we see people coming into the clinic for overhead pitching athletes in baseball.
Correct, yeah. So, I mean, we ran the numbers. I think in the last 10, 15 years, there's only been 12 football players that have even been reported to have, NFL players have been reported to have a UCL injury. Out of those, only one of them actually had surgery, Jake Delhomme.
That was Delhomme?
Back in 2007, so 12 years ago.
I honestly don't remember. I don't remember that happening.
Right, and he was always a little bit, like a game manager type player, but his numbers weren't great afterwards. They're pretty standard, though. He had one relatively good year, kind of his average, the year after, 2008, and then he fell off in 2009, 2010.
What was the Super Bowl year? We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Patriots, we stole one from him.
There you go. But yeah, you just don't see it that often in football.
Right. What do you think that is? What are the biomechanic or torque differences between pitching and throwing a football? What do you think the main driver is for why we see it so often in pitching? Is it they're just throwing that much more? Is it the velocity they're throwing at? Most major league pitchers were low 90s. Most NFL football players, the ball's traveling maybe 60 miles per hour.
Well, sure. So first off, the number one thing is football. You're not always trying to throw it as hard as you possibly can. So baseball, you're throwing the ball quantity as well. You're throwing the ball typically for a starting pitcher 100 times a game at a minimum. You're doing warm-up pitches. You're doing all this stuff. Football players, I mean, you're making throws maybe 30 times a game. Some obviously more, but on average, probably around, what do you think, 25, 30 a game?
Passes?
Yeah.
In a high-flying offense, you could see 50, most in the 30s, I'd say. So 30, 40,
Right.
You're throwing a lot.
So just the sheer number of differences. You're working more on touch. You're just not, cocking the ball back and throwing it as hard as you can every time.
And just on the PTI, when you look at a NFL quarterback throw, you can see there's less torque going through the ulnar collateral ligament than you do on a pitcher
Right.
with all that external rotation.
Exactly.
And for people wondering where the ulnar collateral ligament is, if you have your palms facing forward, it's on the inside of your elbow. So that's the spot that really, in the bullwhip of throwing, takes the most force. And I think we might see an NFL investigation on the Steelers too, because I think it leaked that the backup Rudolph knew Roethlisberger was dealing with an elbow issue, and I think we saw him wince a couple times during the game, and it doesn't look like they reported this injury going into the game. So we might have an unreported injury by the Steelers. But poor for all Steelers fans, bummer for Ben Roethlisberger. This is the surgery that we usually see pitchers get Tommy John surgery for, made famous from the Major League pitcher named Tommy John, unusually not the surgeon that actually did it. So this this isn't confirmed. We have a strong assumption that this is a ulnar collateral ligament injury in Ben, and that he'll go under Tommy John surgery. And outcomes for pitchers, generally pretty good. Sometimes it can take a while to come back. We'd hope that we're going to see Ben back for the beginning of next year, but I think if we look at some of the pitching numbers, it's really a year and a half before they're able to do everything they can. Yeah, so we just looked at Ben's 37 now. He's coming back at 38. Is it 38 and a half where he really starts to get in the groove with his elbow again? Could be a career ender.
Oh, yeah. And for somebody of his age. And that may be exactly why you're seeing it now. Like, so late in his career, maybe it's just the toll of all those throws finally catching up to him. Maybe he doesn't have, the strength that he used to have in the forearm, protecting those muscles, or maybe... I'm
a little worried seeing the NFL change into these guys that are just throwing it way harder than... Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are the hardest throwers in the history of the NFL. Like, they both can outthrow Brett Favre. So I'm wondering, with just guys, we know that how strong that ligament is. It's a ligament, not a muscle, so you can't really strengthen it. I wonder if these harder throwing guys are going to continue to have some issues. We know Josh Allen did have an issue with his at one point. Guy throws the ball 80 yards.
Right, yeah, he had issues last year. Chose not to go under surgery, and he seems to be 100% now.
They're probably PRPing him up, and you think they'd go cortisone on this or go PRP? Well, it depends whether they're going to play right. I bet Ben had a cortisone injection before the game.
Right, yeah. I would imagine, if he's getting surgery, they'll probably do some PRP within the surgery itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do PRP, theoretically, you don't want to do too much to that area to stress it. You want to kind of...
Yeah, I know that's the science that makes sense, but sometimes people coming back, I've heard of athletes getting PRP and then still playing. That doesn't, PRP were platelet-rich plasma injections. We're trying to stimulate inflammation to generate healing. But Ben will undergo the surgery, and hopefully he's back next year. Another big injury, weirdly, another UCL injury in Drew Brees, totally different body part. We're talking about the ulnar collateral ligament of the thumb on his throwing hand. So that's sort of the ligament on the inside of his thumb. This is an injury that we used to refer to as gamekeeper's thumb. If you imagine a gamekeeper sticks their thumb to pull the skin off the animal, and they kind of drag it along, and it can tear the inside ligament there. He obviously not as much torque goes through that area of the thumb when you're throwing it. So I think he's getting a second opinion, but we're unaware if he's getting surgery or not.
Right. Right now, it seems like we're pointing away from surgery, but yeah, we don't really know anything yet. Just basic timeline reports that maybe he can come back in 6 to 8 weeks, assuming he doesn't have the surgery. Right. But he's also 40 years old. The quarterbacks of today's age are just getting, right now, kind of on their tail end. So a 40-year-old undergoes this, is this his last year?
6 weeks, and we'll see. They're saying 6 to 8 week injury. If they put him on IR, they got to wait the 8. They were trying to hold him off IR because they think he can get back in 6. It's got to be painful. He was having a hard time gripping the ball with it. Hopefully,
he tried to pick up the ball and couldn't physically do it.
You can picture his thumb buckling away from where that injury was, and I think we just want to emphasize both UCL ligaments, different parts of the body, a lot more torque going through the elbow. So we don't have a lot of concern of Drew Brees being able to return this year. He should be back. I think both these guys, and I know you knocked me on this because I like Bridgewater. He came out and did not look good, but I think both of these guys look at different situations if the backups come in and are good. I don't think Mason Rudolph's going to be good. He's very immobile. Interesting enough, played with James Washington at Oklahoma State, and they had a good connection there. So you think James Washington has a little boost, and maybe Juju gets hurt by this? They traded away Josh Dobbs to Jacksonville last week, so they really don't have anything behind that. I'd be interested to see if he and James Washington have their old rapport and they're good. But yeah, if Rudolph comes in and is great, do we see like a how bad? Well, let's go with the young guy over Ben. Is this a Tom Brady coming in and stealing Drew Bledsoe situation too? And I know Breeze and Roethlisberger are two of the greatest of all time, but Bridgewater's looked good before. But does Bridgewater come in and light it up next week? It's very unlikely, but there's situations that are possible. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, Roethlisberger just took a 2-year, $68 million extension. So if you're a Steelers ownership, you're hoping Roethlisberger comes back next year and still is your guy for that year, assuming he comes back healthy and is ready to go.
Franchise, like the greatest players almost in these franchise history. I think you give them the benefit of a doubt, but it doesn't hurt if your young guys play well. They believe in Mason Rudolph to some degree. If he's in there in the backup and they're trading away the third string, so
right.
I think it'll be a little exciting to see. I'm just excited to see if does he have this connection with James Washington? They were so great in college together.
Yeah, I'll go on record. You know how I feel about Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah,
I don't think he's that great. I don't hate him. I don't think he's as good as everybody cracks him up to be.
I don't think everyone thinks he's great. I feel like I've given Bridgewater more credit over the years than maybe he's deserved.
Bridgewater's first couple years was average at best, and his last few years hasn't gotten much playing time. He's looked bad.
Wait. How many years has he been in the league? He had his
5 years.
Rookie year, then he was great his second year, and then he dislocated his knee in his third year, and he's never really played since then.
So he came in the league 2014.
Right.
He 14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, threw for about 3,000 yards.
Yeah.
2015, same thing, 14 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, a little bit better. 2017, like you're saying, got hurt.
Dislocated the knee. Okay.
Ever since then, he's been bad. Hasn't gotten a ton of playing time, but has not looked good.
You can't say he's looked bad. He hasn't played. He's been behind Drew Brees.
Saw him last week.
He was bad last week.
Saw him in preseason. You know who I do like is Taysom Hill.
Right.
And I think he could be the guy. I always thought he was going to be the one to take over once Drew Brees retired.
I hear a lot of people saying that, but I'm telling you, if Sean Payton didn't believe in Teddy Bridgewater to some degree, why is he on the roster? They're not going to hold him as a third-string quarterback. So I don't think Taysom Hill is the guy right now. Maybe he is the better one. He does look better. He runs gadget plays. They're set up for him to look successful in those. I think Peyton likes Bridgewater. I want to give him a chance. Let's see what he's got.
I mean, if you're getting a chance, being in the Saints offense with Sean Payton's
this is the best opportunity you're going to get.
Yeah, if he doesn't get it, no more chances.
He's still okay. He could get it back, but I don't think he's going to. If he doesn't play well over these next 6 weeks, he's not an NFL starter for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Other just fantasy-based implications off of this? You still definitely starting Juju?
Oh, yeah, still starting Juju, still starting Michael Thomas. I think those guys, you have to play them.
I like Thomas, but I think Juju could be moving to a receiver too, though.
But he's still playing him.
Still playing him, yeah. You got to start two receivers.
Yeah.
And I think Thomas is closer to a receiver too. I don't know why I feel better about that one. But
well, he still got a few catches. He didn't catch a touchdown, but he still did a decent game with Breeze out of there. Neither one really have great receivers to kind of take away those targets.
Right. Keep your ulnar collateral ligaments healthy, people.
I think it may hurt Kamara a little bit.
I think it hurts everyone. Yeah, you take Drew Brees out, your team's not going to be as good.
Yeah.
But they're all starts still.
Yep.
Okay.
Other big...
any big takeaways from week 2 for you?
Christian McCaffrey. Very, very, very weak game. I think he had 4 or 5 fantasy points. It just was not from the start. They're rainy weather conditions.
Panthers didn't
even
look
delayed.
good here,
Cam looked bad. It was a defensive struggle.
I don't think you panic on this one. You just hang in there. I'll say Mahomes, to me, I can't believe he threw 4 touchdowns in the first half.
The second quarter. All 4 in one quarter.
4 in one quarter. I mean, all fantasy football, what are we saying? Like, he's a great player, but expect regression. It's not going to be 5,050 again. Dude, he's on pace to do it again right now, and he's playing against some decent teams and doing it. I took him as a 3rd-round pick as the highest place I took him. Right now, that's a steal. Like, he's looking like he should have been a back-end first-round pick. Let's see if he keeps it up. The other big one, your guy, you got to give him credit. I'll let you say it.
Lamar Jackson.
Still legit, man. I mean, he's faced probably the 2 worst defenses in the NFL so far. He gets another bad one, and they play each other this week, right? We're going to see Mahomes-Jackson. I think that's the matchup. I think that's week 3. Baltimore. We got week 3, Baltimore and Chiefs. Looking it up. Yes. Sunday, 9:22, 1 o'clock. Lamar Jackson against Patrick Mahomes. 2 most exciting players to watch in football, in my opinion, right now. Everybody tune in. Come down to Glory Days and watch it with us. We'll have a prize.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game.
But
It's
Chiefs,
going to be high scoring, though.
Chiefs defense not very good.
But you know what? The one thing that I think the Ravens can do against other teams that it's just tough to stop. That's why I kind of like them against. I think they can take the Patriots when they play. But
The Chiefs or the Ravens? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Ravens,
Okay, what makes you say that?
they can run the ball. I think if they get into a offense where they can just pound the ball over and over, slow down the clock. I mean, that's what they used to do against Peyton Manning. The only way you can stop Peyton Manning is take the ball out of his hands. The only way you can stop Patrick Mahomes, take the ball out of his hands. You get a few. I mean, he's shown that he's had a few 3-and-outs.
You know what Belichick's going to do to the Ravens, right?
What's that?
They're going to make Mark Ingram try to beat us.
Yeah.
Because they're not. Belichick takes away. He's going to take away Lamar's passing lanes. He's going to say, "Go ahead, pound us with Ingram. We're going to try to stop you."
Or Lamar takes off.
I don't think he takes away the best weapon, and Lamar's the best weapon. I feel like he's going to run contain on the outside a lot, take away passing lanes, and say, "Go ahead, come on, give it, Mark Ingram. You're going to have to score 4 touchdowns if you guys want to win this game." And it's possible he's a good player too.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or maybe Gus gets one, and we'll see.
Ravens have a little bit of a banged up secondary, which makes Mahomes even a bigger play this week. I think I could see Hardman getting behind the secondary, getting a couple more long touchdowns. He's my guy in that offense ever since Tyreek went down.
Who was the guy that blew up that we barely even know? A new guy.
Oh, Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson. He wasn't even on my board. But they all look good. They could all potentially have value with Mahomes playing this well.
Yeah.
Watkins killed me. I had a millionaire maker in, and if Watkins went off, I would have won big on FanDuel.
All right. Well, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's have a little bit of fun. We'll do some ice cream comparisons with some players, some fantasy players.
We had great feedback on our quarterback sandwich segment.
Correct.
So we're bringing in fantasy players as ice creams.
All right. So I'll start with you. You kind of tell me your flavors for players.
And why.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start with Patrick Mahomes.
I went with the Jim Dandy. It's the most exciting ice cream sandwich. He's the most exciting player. It's straightforward.
It's the biggest. It's going to give you the biggest fantasy value.
Exactly. I don't even know what's in a Jim Dandy. I just know it's a lot of sugary fun, and that sounds like Patrick Mahomes. Interesting enough, he would prefer macaroni and cheese with ketchup on it.
Yeah, it's gross.
That's what he likes to eat. He's come
How
out
about Lamar?
Lamar, we'll go with the next biggest. I mean, the banana split. I'm not even the biggest banana split fan, but I mean, I know it's big and it's exciting. Banana split on Lamar for me.
I went mint chocolate chip for Lamar.
Give me why.
Because it's a great flavor, but some people just aren't into it. He has a different style than other people have.
Interesting enough, we did label him the ice cream sandwich in the sandwich section. He's definitely progressed beyond that.
Oh, yeah.
He is pretty. Well, we told him an ice cream sandwich because he was going to be slippery and get away a little bit. He did that this weekend, 123 yards rushing.
That's right. Julio Jones.
Julio, because he's been consistent so far. We were only 2 weeks in, so we don't have a lot to go off of here. But I went with Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream. It's my favorite. It's silky smooth. On a nice summer night, Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream, it's just delicious. We get a little warm spoon that just melts in it. It's silky smooth. Julio Jones silky smooth on that touchdown last night.
Julio had 1 or 2?
I think he had 1. He beat me on that. I was facing Julio, Alshon, and Deshaun, and we're up a point before that Julio touchdown. Bummer.
Up just 1 point.
Yeah, but I mean, the game was winding down.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Dalvin Cook. He's been a fantasy monster this year.
Yeah, I also love cookie dough, and it's just boom. It's in your face. It's cookie dough. It's boom. That's Dalvin with Dalvin Cook's. Dalvin Cook's running with like his hair's on fire. He's coming out and he's electric. He's all over the place.
You got to play on the Dalvin Cook and cookie dough there. Cook.
I didn't even mean to do that. That's fantastic.
Another guy who's been kind of under the radar before this year, but now taken off, Austin Eckler.
That's why I gave him Cherry Garcia, because I always think I don't like Cherry Garcia, and then I try it, and I remember I love it. That's Austin Eckler. You don't think he's anything. He gets in the game, and he's just ripping it up for you.
I said cookies and cream for him. It's just a solid go-to.
It's just good, yeah.
Well, he's going to get catches. You know he has a high floor.
If you're looking in the freezer, and you're not sure what you want, you see cookies and cream, that's a grab for you?
Oh, yeah, I know I'm going to be happy with cookies and cream.
I happen to not be a fan of cookies and cream. I don't know what's wrong with me.
So let's go to a couple people that we were high on in the beginning of the year, and now they're kind of potentially changed our mind. Let's go Jameis Winston.
We keep pronouncing his name wrong, by the way. We're getting comments for saying the name wrong. Jameis Winston? Please comment back if Jameis Winston is correct. Someone I invested in highly. So all my teams I run fantasy people with who listen to this can know I'm giving them rum raisin, which is just, I think that's historically everyone's least favorite ice cream. And Jameis has been my least favorite player to watch so far. I'm not quitting on this guy yet. It takes a while to learn the Bruce Arians offense. I still think it's coming, but it's been so bad, so I'm giving him the worst right now. And that goes right into our next one, which is not only bad to me. O.J. Howard is pistachio. Not only do I not like pistachio, it mixes even worse with rum raisin. Could you imagine pistachio and rum raisin? That's what it was like watching Jameis Winston and O.J. Howard last weekend. He's still a buy low for me. Buy low on pistachio ice cream. If people want to trade him for nothing, just throw him on your bench. I think it's going to come, but nope, not right now.
Yeah, I went Rocky Road for OJ. But can we make
What is Rocky Road?
Yeah, I don't even know what it is, but just the name, Rocky Road. It's been a Rocky Road
Do
for OJ Howard.
you eat a lot of ice cream?
Not a ton.
I'm not an ice cream guy. I mean, I love the idea of ice cream. I just don't eat a lot.
Yeah.
It does make me happy when I do, though.
Smart on our end to choose ice cream flavors to compare players.
Well, we still have our feelings about ice cream. We're not entrenched in it right now.
Can we make a comment? So my brother, when we did the fantasy drafts, the live drafts on the podcast,
Yeah.
he chose Evan Ingram, and I kind of asked him his reason for choosing Ingram when O.J. Howard was still on the board.
Yeah.
And there was somebody else on the board that
Hunter
was
Henry.
going higher than Evan Ingram was supposed to be going, at least on the fantasy draft. And he wasn't high on O.J. Howard, and we were, and he was kind of giving me some flack for that. And I just want to point out for all the people kind of calling us out on O.J. Howard is what he looked like in preseason looks so much different than he is now. I mean, he was lining up in the slot in preseason.
And right now they're struggling, and Jameis and Bruce Arians' system rely on the slot when you're struggling, which has been Chris Godwin, which has basically been the only guy in the offense who's doing anything. That's because they're struggling. I'm telling you, it's still going to come. It's just not good right now.
Yeah. But we're kind of done. If Howard stays in this role, I heard his name twice in that game, and they were both for penalties.
Yeah, he didn't have a catch. Bruce Arians said he knows Howard can play a lot better than he has. I think we'll still see it. Another tight end that got hurt that we didn't mention, Hunter Henry, I think had a tibial plateau fracture, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's out at least 8 weeks.
Okay.
He was the other guy drafted in that range.
Yeah, so Evan Ingram was the guy you wanted in the mid-range, and he's actually having a big year.
Great pick, Will's brother. What's your brother's name? Tom.
Evan Ingram's third right now behind Kelsey and
Shout
Mark
out.
Andrews.
Would have been better if you picked Andrews. No, I like Ingram.
All right, let's keep going. Ezekiel Elliott.
Zeke Elliott is the hot fudge sundae. Obviously, he's a great player. We're seeing that. We haven't seen the extreme flash yet, and that's why I went hot fudge sundae here. Because when you start it, you get a little whipped cream and the cherry, a little vanilla. It's not till he gets grinded that you really get to the best part, which is the fudge. So I'm saying has been good so far. I think the hot fudge is to come. He gets hot fudge sundae.
Okay.
More hot fudge to come. Buy on Zeke. He's going to keep grinding.
How about Chris Carson?
Chris Carson, I did fudge ripple. So if my sister's listening, she's going to think that's hilarious. My mother would always buy us fudge ripple, and we hated it. It's the worst. It was the worst one. But if you got the right brand, it was pretty good. So Chris Carson, up game, down game, I'm giving him fudge ripple. I don't know if mom's bringing home the good fudge ripple or the bad fudge ripple yet. I hope it's not the bad. Still betting on Chris Carson moving forward. They're going to run the ball a lot.
Yeah, he's just vanilla for me right now. And
Vanilla
did you see
with
Rashad Penny got the touchdown?
He got the touchdown. It's annoying, but you know that's just going to happen sometime. Vanilla with that's what fudge ripple is. Fudge ripple, just a little fudge in that vanilla.
And then last but not least, Juju Smith-Schuster.
This one relates to the Ben Roethlisberger injury. Juju Smith-Schuster is a quickly melting maple walnut. It's fantastic, but is it melting fast? Is the value melting fast without Ben Roethlisberger? We think he's going to be okay, but obviously, if you invested a first or early second round pick in Juju, you're a little bummed on it. It's better than him getting hurt, but you lost a good quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, I'll do one more. Matt Breida. I have Matt Breida in a bunch of leagues.
Give me your Matt Breida.
Very upset with the Matt Breida situation right now.
Tell me about it. Come on, give me the ice cream first, and then I want to talk this one through.
Well, it's a Neapolitan. So there's three-headed monster in that offense, right? You got
Which
Jeff
one is-
Wilson, Mostert,
Yeah, but
and
which one's he?
Matt Breida. He's for me the chocolate.
He's the chocolate.
He's the least exciting one for me, and I don't know. It's infuriating to see like 4 rushing touchdowns in that game, and Breida doesn't get one, even though he's ripping off.
Mostert is the strawberry because I started him, and
Mostert's very good.
And you didn't expect anything, you got it. This is my complaint about you on the weekend. I'm calling you the fantasy football diva. You get 134 yards out of your running back that you drafted in what round? And you just have nothing but complaints about it.
Yeah, because when Tevin Coleman goes down, he's now the guy. Take away that, I got great value on him now because I got a starting running back. He's ripping off like 10, 12-yard carries per game or per rush, And then you get anywhere near the end zone, and it's like, I don't think you can do it in the end zone.
This isn't
unbelievable.
new.
If Tevin Coleman's there, Breida's the goal line back.
No, he's not. This is Kyle Shanahan's offense. This is how he runs it. This was going to happen before Coleman got hurt. It was going to be Coleman, Breida, and McKinnon initially, and now we could see Mostert. I think you should be excited to get 134 yards, a catch, and 10 yards. I think you get in a 10th round pick. You got 134 yards and a catch and a 10-yard. You're getting 14 points out of a player in fantasy, and you're like, Bush drafted him in the 10th round.
Things change. You can't go off the draft. Once they're on your team, I don't care if you're got Mahomes in the 16th round and first round, you're playing Mahomes. Well, it doesn't matter where you get him.
Get used to it. It's not going to be new. And if you draft a Kyle Shanahan back, it's going to be like that forever. My value is the opposite. I love Kyle Shanahan backs because he's able to produce a three-headed monster. All these guys produced. Can we pull up where they finished in the fantasy rankings? Is that hard to do? I bet all of them are in the top 25. He gets 3 guys in the top 25?
Yeah, I don't know.
Searching again. And you complained about Carry-On, too. I calculated out Carry-On's day. If he had that day for the rest of the year, it'd be 850 yards rushing, 850 yards receiving, and 8 touchdowns. You won't be happy unless all your players have 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns, I feel like.
I want them to get the opportunities they deserve. Mark, this is not about me, all right?
I think
Matt Breida is playing his heart out for this team, you're ripping off carries, and we're not going to reward him with the touchdown. It makes me sick.
You are the
Shanahan. It makes me sick.
You are the Odell Beckham of fantasy football playing. You just cry and cry and cry. When it's good, you cry.
It's not good. 13 points for Matt Breida when he's ripping off 10 yards per carry is not good to me.
Dude, I get 13 points and my back doesn't get hurt. I'm happy. But I started Mostert, so I am happy.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect that. I didn't have Breida. Okay, that's our ice cream segment.
So let's go to just some general takeaways. If you're a Skins fan, lots of Redskins fans around here, you're 0-2. You've lost to the Eagles and Cowboys, which most people before the season would have considered them to be the 2 strongest teams in the league. Mm-hmm. You played well. You outplayed the Eagles first half of week 1 and then just got smoked in the second half. Kind of hung in there with the Cowboys. It seemed like the Cowboys were winning that game pretty much the entire way, but it was somewhat close at times. Are you concerned at all with the Redskins if you're a Skins fan? Is the season over? Are we calling for Haskins yet? What are we doing?
I didn't get to watch that whole game yet, so I might reserve my comment for later. I'm going to watch some of the highlights tonight, maybe the game. Did some fishing over the weekend, so I didn't catch all the games. But, I'm worried, right? They're 0-2. How many games does Gruden lose before he gets fired?
I don't see him getting fired this year. I think we'll get fired at the end of the year.
If he's 0-6, you don't think he gets fired?
Nah, I think they ride it out with him for the year. I don't think they'll be 0-6.
Well, they got Chicago on Monday night, it looks like.
Right, that's another tough one.
Chicago doesn't look good either. I mean, you were killing me for being the Bridgewater guy. You're the Trubisky guy. I've been saying Trubisky's not all he's cracked up to be all along. Defend him.
Defend Trubisky?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great game manager. He's a second-year player, right?
Yes.
He made it to the Pro Bowl his first year. Rookie year, made it to the Pro Bowl.
He's a third-year player.
Third year?
Yeah, he made it second year.
Okay. So he's making big strides. He's on an offense that typically you don't think the Chicago Bears is airing it out. They like to pound the football. They had Jordan Howard the past 2 years. They gave him a ton of carries. Tariq Cohen got a bunch of carries. They just don't have the receiving firepower to make him a great. Like if you put Trubisky in the Saints offense, he's a stud. I think he already is a stud. But I think it's more of the system that he's been drafted into is why you don't like him as much as other players.
Coming out of college, you realize he was drafted over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes.
So you can't blame him for that.
You can't, but
your expectations are too high based
correct.
on where the team drafted him.
Right, but I'm just saying I was sitting there laughing at the Chicago Bears when they took him over Watson. I thought it was crazy.
So let's go. So Bears at Redskins.
Yeah.
I say there's a chance they pull that one off. The Bears haven't looked good, especially offensively.
At home, sure. I probably
I'll
am
still
going to
take the Bears.
I think I might take we got to look at the spread, but I think
That's a Monday night game in Washington, so that should be a fun one.
I looked up who the option to replace Gruden. If they do, it's probably defensive coordinator Greg Minuski. If he does get fired, it doesn't make sense because they're going to clean house on the offensive side, so he would probably be the interim coach if it did happen.
Let's say they go 0-3.
Yeah.
Right? Say they lose to the Bears. They're beating the Giants. They're going to lose to the Patriots.
Dude, I don't think it's
and then they're beating the Dolphins. So they're going to be at minimum 2-4. I think they could be 3-3.
Yeah, most college teams could beat the Dolphins. Giants going into New York, it's not a cakewalk.
It'll be a cakewalk.
All right.
If you want to call me a diva, I'm not happy with Saquon Barkley either.
What is wrong with you? Didn't he have a good... I don't have Saquon, so I didn't follow. I know he scored a long touchdown. I had him in FanDuel. He played well.
Yeah, he did okay.
He did.
It's not what I'm looking for at a number one pick.
It's difficult to talk to you sometimes.
So let's go Eagles then. So Eagles are now 1-1. They beat the Skins week 1.
Yep.
Didn't look great first half. Looked very good second half.
Yep.
They were decimated last night in terms of injuries.
Yep.
No Alshon Jeffrey, no Deshaun Jackson. I think all these guys were active to start the game.
Yep.
If I remember. So Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Dallas Goedert, their other tight end. Carson Wentz had to leave for a little bit, looked banged up.
Ribs and concussion on him. Soft tissue stuff on the other guys.
Did you see him, though? I was most impressed with Carson Wentz. So he clearly banged up, and he took I think it was a QB sneak, and went right into the defense. Like, no concern about injury or anything. Like, he has always been a guy, even when he tore his ACL that one year,
He
stayed in the game, played for a touchdown.
Yeah, he's a tough player.
He is a tough guy.
Yeah, nothing new. What? Alshon Jeffrey, injury-prone player. Deshaun Jackson, track guys, has soft tissue stuff his whole life. Wentz has been hurt in his career. Goddard has had some injuries too. So they take risk on injury-prone players. So that's what's going to happen sometimes.
To be fair, though, with all that, they were actually beating the Falcons towards the end of the game.
Yeah, but
Falcons aren't a bad team.
Falcons are a good team. Not a good
team.
defense.
The Eagles are still decent.
Oh yeah, if Eagles fans hanging, you're fine.
Yeah.
They don't sound like major injuries. It's disconcerting that Carson seems to always have something, but yeah, I think they're okay.
Yeah, I'd be happy with the Eagles. I still think, I don't know, what do you think? Cowboys have looked good their first couple games.
Oh, they look dominant. Yeah, Dak looks like he's playing for a $40 million contract.
Yeah, I still think the Eagles are the better team, even after 2 weeks, especially not being healthy. I think that says something. Eagles went down early in that game.
But I think the health is a part of their actual game. Like, I expect the Cowboys to be healthier than the Eagles, so I think I'm going to say I like the Cowboys a little bit better right now.
Yeah, I still like the Eagles. I think they're a tough team. I mean, they started out that game. The Falcons took it to them. They had all these injuries, and they came back.
Touche.
Both are going to be good. I think both make the playoffs.
Patriots dominate.
So obviously you're a Patriots fan.
That might have been the best fantasy defense of output ever.
No.
I can't remember. I don't remember better. I had them on FanDuel. They got me 37 on FanDuel. It's unreal.
Yeah, there's been more.
We'll look into that. If anyone can think of a better one, let me know. Yeah, and Jalen Ramsey just asked to get traded. Could the Pats swing a first-round pick for Jalen Ramsey, too?
Yeah. I don't
What would you give up for Jalen Ramsey?
Well, he was, a fifth overall pick? Fifth or sixth overall pick in the draft?
Top 5, yeah.
In his prime, having a great career.
Might be the best corner in football.
I think you'd have to give up more than a first-round pick.
I think you'd have to give 2. They gave 2 for Texans gave 2 for Tunsil. I'd say they're pretty close on value. Probably 2 first and maybe something else too.
Yeah.
2 first and a second. That's a lot.
But he's top of the game. Just shut down Hopkins.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Trying new strategies. So Jalen Ramsey typically trash talks the quarterbacks. Now he's talking up Hopkins.
And shutting them down.
Yeah,
I like it. I like the reverse. The reverse psychology is awesome.
Can we talk about the Patriots a little bit with just getting Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon comes back. They're just getting more and more pieces when they're already a dominant team.
Right.
They're turning, for me, it just resembles the Golden State Warriors.
I agree 100%.
Antonio Brown now becomes the Kevin Durant in a sense.
It does seem harder to do in football with the caps being tighter, but they're finding a way to do it. We're definitely the bad guys. Target on the back the whole way. I'll own it. Everyone should hate us and does hate us.
Yeah.
I have to preface it when I go out and people ask what fan are you? I'm like, well, I'm a Patriots fan, but I am from there. I don't want to look like someone who just jumps on the bandwagon of the winning team for the past 20 years.
Well, that's the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys seem to have a ton of fans, but they're not.
Well, because when we were kids, they were like, I had a ton of friends around here that did that. So I always preface it. I'm a Patriots fan, but I'm actually I was born in New England.
Yeah,
I had bad years with Bledsoe.
I grew up a Cowboys fan.
Really?
And I was around here. I switched over in college where I became a Ravens fan. Finally. the Ravens were, I don't know, I guess bad enough to where I felt like it was okay time to join their bandwagon. You don't want to join somebody when they're at the top.
Yeah,
like, all of a sudden you're a fan.
All the fans, I hated the kids growing up as a Red Sox fan in Springfield, Massachusetts. When kids rooted for the Yankees, they were the worst. No one liked those kids. Like, I want to root for the Yankees because they win. Like, no. It's in Western Massachusetts, it's Red Sox all the way. Don't root for the Yankees if you're from Boston.
I feel like even now, being from Boston, you shouldn't be able to root for the Patriots.
I like New York fans that are from New York. If you're a Yankees fan from Boston, get out of here. Dude, move. Move. Don't move to either. Move to Florida. You belong in Florida. That's where you belong. You belong in Jacksonville.
All right. But you see the similarity there. Antonio Brown, Kevin Durant.
Oh, yeah,
Kevin Durant's getting a ton of criticism now. Antonio Brown, at least Kevin Durant joined the team at the beginning of the year.
Right.
And
Lot
free agent.
of less sexual assault allegations against Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
We'll see how those pan out.
And it's, from my estimation, granted the Dolphins are awful, so Tom Brady can probably do whatever he wants against them. But he was definitely looking Antonio Brown's way early and often.
That touchdown was offensive pass interference on Antonio Brown.
That's a good catch.
Still offensive pass interference. Dolphins' worst team you've ever seen. I know I'm doing a lot of ultimatums on these, but they might be the worst team I've ever seen.
Antonio Brown's foot looks okay. That's good, big news.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him play.
Proprioception looks fine. I think he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Dolphins, you didn't answer my Dolphins question.
What?
Worst team you've ever seen play? First two games, they're outscored 102-3.
Yeah, I'm not going to say they're the worst ever. I think, in my mind, I want to say Lamar is incredible, and the throws he was making is tough.
One of those Lions teams that went 0-16 were? No, I think they're worse. Joey Harrington's Lions team is close.
I've never seen a team after 2 weeks of the season where so many players want to get off the team.
Everybody has to get traded. It's bad.
Yeah. Let's go into some fantasy things here. So Lamar, I think it's safe to say he's matchup proof at this point.
That is not. Why would you say that's safe?
Because he has such a high floor.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's he did face the two worst defenses in the NFL. I'm on Lamar. I'm on with Lamar. I don't want to use the word he's going to have. I think he's going to have a couple stinker games this year.
I think his stinker games, he's still getting you around 15 points. Just from simply running the ball for about 80
to 100 yards. That sounds like a
yards.
player you'd be very upset with, Will. Diva fantasy Will.
No, not at all. I'm okay if Saquon has 15 points. It's like his low game.
You're upset.
You're saying I should be happy with duds.
No, you're saying Breida gets you 14 as a running back and you're okay getting 15 from a quarterback? That's crazy.
Yeah. How is that crazy?
Well, because a quarterback generally outscore running backs by more points than that. You usually want to see 22, 23 from a quarterback. You'll take a hit of 8 from Jackson, but Breida, 14's no good for you.
My issue is the way he's running the ball. He's running the ball so well that you're gonna spend 60 yards on him in 4 carries to get all the way to the end zone, and then you're putting in somebody else. My issue is more with Shanahan. Breida's playing very well.
You're saying he's the work done Mike Allstott vulture.
Exactly.
Okay.
On a day when Matt Breida, because he doesn't always run this well, but on a day when Matt Breida,
man, he's good. It's Shanahan's offense.
When he's just
Okay.
crushing it.
We pushed the topic.
All right. And then, I'm going to say Deshaun Watson, who I thought was matchup proof after last week, no longer matchup proof in my mind.
Yeah, so he played the Jaguars. I think Lamar would have a similar game. So you're saying you take Lamar Jackson over Deshaun Watson right now?
Right now, yeah.
I'm getting there, but I'm not there. No.
Yeah. I still think,
I think Deshaun's still more matchup proof than Lamar is at this point, even after that. But it's getting there.
What was the problem with that game? He would, every throw he was making was 5 yards. They just weren't throwing it.
Jacksonville's got a good defense.
Was it just their offensive line wasn't holding up? I didn't see anything.
I'm going to watch more of that one tonight. I didn't catch all of it. Carlos Hyde ran well. I'm assuming they were just dropping back and locking everything down. Similar, I said with the Patriots. They probably said, "Go ahead, and try to beat us with Carlos Hyde."
Nothing more frustrating than when you're a fantasy owner of a quarterback and every single drive it's run, pass.
Yeah.
In
the league I have Deshaun Watson, I still won. I'd be more upset if I didn't.
Deshaun Watson also had a rushing touchdown.
Oh, that's what saved him.
Salvaged a little bit, but I
saved
still only had 12 or 13 points. Nothing, not very good.
Yeah, not his best day. Lamar will struggle more. Deshaun will have better games.
Agreed.
We're okay there.
All right. Anything else from week 2?
That's it. I think we're exciting games. We got the Browns Jets on tonight. Browns Jets are on in the other room. We have not been looking at updates. What do you think the score is right now?
So we're at 9 o'clock. They've been playing 45 minutes. Probably what? Start a second.
14-3 Browns, I'm going.
I'm going to say 7-3 Jets.
Okay, let's go check.
But while I'm checking, two things.
Yes.
Daniel Jones and Haskins.
What about him?
When are they playing? Is it time to throw Daniel Jones into the mix with the way?
Yeah,
that the
I think
Giants
that
are playing?
the offensive line in Washington has looked so bad that you don't want to get the guy hurt young. I'm still holding. I'm ready. I think Giants fans are ready for Daniel Jones now.
Okay, 6-0 Browns. Nothing crazy.
All right, we were cool. I had the right team.
All right, awesome. So we'll be at Glory Days in Alexandria this Sunday.
What date is that? The 26th? It can't be that late. The 22nd. 22nd.
Yep.
22nd, Glory Days, Alexandria. We'll see you there.
Yep.
We're handing out prizes. It's free money, guys. Free. Well, free Glory Days money. Get some discounts.
Yep. And then email us questions, willandmarkshso@gmail.com. Join us on Facebook, comment on our stuff, and hopefully we'll see you at Glory Days.
Great. See you then. Over and out.